Greetings and salutations, boys and ghouls, and welcome back to Coalcast, the podcast for all of us. And we're going to continue our theme of spooktacular episodes here this month of October for Halloween, and that's specifically what we are going to talk about today is Halloween. We're going to talk about some of our favorite memories. We're going to talk about the good stuff like the candy and all that stuff. But I'm not alone today. Oh, no. I am with the very beautiful, talented, gorgeous, super sexy, and did I say brilliant? Sadsavigonbleh.
Hi.
Hello. And yeah, we're going to talk about Halloween. So let's just kind of get right into it. What was a typical Halloween for you as a kid? Because I know it's going to be different for us because I had no siblings and you had 3.
Well, I remember growing up, Halloween was typically going over to my grandparents' house on my mom's side, and we would go up and down their neighborhood. And I remember one Halloween in particular, I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and my dad would take my sisters and my cousin and myself to the Jackson Park Shopping Center in Seymour. That's where JCPenney is, if you're new to that, if you know that area. And we would get candy through the different businesses in that little shopping area. I mean, I don't know if they do that today. It's been a while since I was a kid.
Huh. What are you talking about? You just went last year. We tried to get some candy with the boys. No, I think a lot of places still do that for the most part, but I think definitely last year, probably not so much. And last year's Halloween for kids just had to suck, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, not being able to like go and get candy and stuff like that. Because that's what, at the end of the day, it's all about. It's all about that candy. Yeah, the kid. Well, yes, kids and candy. But yeah, so for me as a kid, very similar. I remember, yes, going to the grandparents' house because that's where you got the good shit. None of this bullshit, fun size, shitty, in the back of the bag, stale as fuck candy bars. Oh, no. I'm talking full size. And I'm talking if you were a really good boy or girl, king size, motherfucker. But yeah, yes. So going to the grandparents and like the family friends or aunts, uncles, whatever, you know, and then trick or treating. Now, did you trick or treat like with all your siblings, or was it like mostly just Adam since you guys were the same age, or like were the girls?
Well, I think in general, like, you know, it was easier to corral a bunch of girls than it was, you know, one unruly little boy. So my brother kind of did his own thing, and, you know, my dad and, you know, sometimes my mom would just get all the girls rounded up and, you know, take them trick or treating. You know, it's not to say Adam didn't tag along a few times. I'm sure he did, but I just remember my sisters and my cousin with me.
Okay, and then when you got old enough, were you ever like, hey, take your sisters out trick or treating? That ever happen?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, me being an only child, like, and it's weird because you know me, I remember a shit ton of stuff. My like stuff I dressed up for Halloween, I don't remember a whole lot of them. I mean, I remember
don't
a couple.
either.
Yeah, I remember a couple costumes, and just there's obviously photographic evidence, and we'll get into that. But I think, of course, you know me, I'm a history buff. I think we got to talk first and foremost about Halloween, or Hallows Eve, if you will, or as it's referred, All Saints Eve, and the history of like how that got started. Like, do you kind of know or have like a general idea?
Yeah, it's a pagan holiday. It's also known as Samhain, even though it's written as Samhain, but no, I've learned it's pronounced Samhain.
Okay. Damn, I did not know that. I knew it was like a Celtic like harvest festivals and shit like that. It was like had like the Gaelic symbolism or some shit like that, right?
No, it's
Oh,
paganism.
paganism. My bad. My bad. So, but yeah, it's just weird. It's weird when you think about it, of like all the shit that's involved with Halloween, like jack o' lanterns, pumpkins, and like bobbing for dicks, or I mean bobbing for apples. And all the aspects that go into it, scary movies, and the concept corn mazes. Yeah, it's just a really fucking weird like holiday. But I gotta tell you, man, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's not my favorite holiday. You of course know what my favorite holiday is.
Oh, of course.
And we're not mentioning it yet because we're not going to be those people who mention that. But that's coming. But yeah, I love October, man. There's so much to do in October, and of course, it's like the weather's changing. It's cooler down. It's hoodie weather, yo. I would say probably fall is my favorite season. What about you?
I don't know. I always like summer.
Yeah, summertime. When you can have your tits out.
Yeah, because I do that all the time. Hell no.
Only at home. Not really. But, so yeah. So there you go. Like, you definitely knew a lot more about Halloween than I did, as far as
I have a lot of witchy friends.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's what works so great with us is like you get down to the fine tune like facts of things, and I can tell you random stupid bullshit about like what actor or actress was in the episode of fucking Different Strokes. Yeah, not really, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So there you go. And remember, if you want to really know more about Halloween, you could always Wikipedia that shit. Everybody gets one. Okay, so let's talk about like the costumes. So we were talking like, isn't it amazing like how kids' costumes are so intricate and involved now to when we were kids?
Well, I mean, shit's changed. When we were little, I remember those nasty, thick, rubbery masks with all the different like cartoon characters and shit that stunk really bad and made you sweat a lot.
I'm gonna go even further back. The ones I had was the most stupidest and ridiculous shit. It was like a barely held on mask made of the cheap plastic that if you caught the edge of it, it would like fucking slice you in two.
Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was the shittiest god awful mask that had like, two little eyeball openings and then like just a tiny little opening for the mouth. And it was held together by like a fucking practically a rubber band.
Ooh.
And it was like stapled on around the sides. Now here's the really funny part about it. You're like so the costume would consist of that as your mask, and then you would have something to like cover your your torso and stuff, your arms, and it was just literally like the most generic, basic bitch shit you can think of. You might as well take a fucking garbage bag and cut it out and slide it over, and that's your fucking Halloween costume. Like I remember, so the ones I remembered, I had a Donald Duck one. And I remember I was Fred Flintstone one year for Halloween. And it was just like the cutout, it was just like the Fred Flintstone, like the fucking, his uniform, like the orange print or whatever, and the tie. And the Donald Duck one. Funny thing about the Donald Duck was, do you think it'd be like the little, like,
fluffy.
Yeah, the little shirt thingy? No, it just, I'm not shitting you. It just said fucking Donald Duck on it. What the fuck, Disney? This is the best you could do. I mean, I get it. This is taking place at the time when you're about to shut down because of fucking movies like The Black Cauldron and shit. But come on, man, you could have done a little bit better than that. And I do remember dressing up as like Sorrow one year, which I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to that costume. What about you? Like, what are some of your costumes you remember?
The few that I remember. Probably when I was 3 or 4. It was in the 80s, and they had those real nasty, thick, plasticky, stinky masks, and I was Barbie. I remember being like, I don't know, like 6 and just having a real generic devil costume where it was just like the headband was your horns and then you had this like nylon like dress type of thing and it had like the jagged edges on the bottom, for the flames or whatnot. And then you had your pitchfork that was plastic.
Please tell me that's something that Richard picked out for you.
No, he didn't give a shit. And then one year when I was probably 8 or 9, I was Cleopatra and I had this like Egyptian headband that had like the hieroglyphics on it, and my mom put like real thick eyeliner on me, and I had this blue dress.
Okay. Yeah. I just had one come to me as you were talking. I remember there was one year where I was Superman. And I remember this because of a picture. And my mom put my hair, slicked it back, and did like the curly Q.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like this little Superman outfit that was made of cloth and shit, and like had the cape, of course. Now, do you remember going to school, getting to dress up?
Yeah, vaguely. I think I remember going to school as the Cleopatra one.
Okay, see, because what brought back to me is I remember going as Superman. And then, all the kids would gather up and like, there's my costume, and, and it's like they would do like a costume contest. And then the teachers would get very intuitive and like, they would pour like have a punch bowl and it was like Dracula's blood or some shit like that, Like, do you remember any Halloween parties when, like as a kid?
Not really. I mean, I can only think that, we had a day where we could dress up or whatever, and then our teacher would, give us all a piece of candy or a little gift bag or whatever, and then we'd have like, like the moms that were like extra that would bring in stuff, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. I can remember like my mom got creative one year for like because like you say, moms would volunteer and bring in stuff or whatever, and she bought a bunch of Tootsie Roll Pops, and what she did is she took a Kleenex and she wrapped like I think she did a rubber band or some shit around it, and she put on it like 2 eyes and like a mouth like it was a ghost. Very creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can remember like the parties as a kid, kind of with that. Like I just remember having like a watching some like get to watch videos or whatever.
Oh yeah, Halloween. Yeah. That was part of it too.
Oh yeah, you get to watch some specials and shit. And it was just a fun day. Like you look forward to it, and then like right when you got out of school, went right into trick or treating. So now we're talking about costumes. I'm going to lay down the bullshit fact of the day. And probably, you're probably going to know this, I bet. And I think there's going to be several people out there who know this. But I want to talk about the movie Halloween. Now, did you know that where the Halloween costume or the mask come from?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So here's what happened. So, and keep in mind when they were making that movie back in the day, it was like a very low budget. Like, so their props department wasn't the most spectacular. So they sent somebody to a Halloween or a costume shop, and they were literally out of like everything except for like a couple miscellaneous masks, and one of them so happened to be a Star Trek, and it was a William Shatner mask. That's right. The face of Mike Myers is actually William fucking Shatner. And they like what they did is they melted the mask down to make it kind of scarier looking and shit. Not that they had too much work to do with there, because I mean it's Shatner. No, just kidding. And I just literally saw him. Like side note, I literally just saw him the other day, and that motherfucker just got back from space.
90 years old.
How crazy!
Can you believe that?
I know. How crazy is that shit? So, anyways, now. One of the most important elements to me as a kid, like, what would you say? What did you look forward to the most as a kid, like for Halloween? Was it just like the whole aspect of it, or was there one certain thing that you were like, okay?
I think I was pretty much like everybody else. So where's the candy?
Hell yeah! That's where I'm getting with this. We talking about Halloween candy. Like I say, I remember like going to the good houses and stuff in the good neighborhoods, go to the rich neighborhoods, and like I remember specifically requesting to go to some, even though they were kind of a little bit of ways, but my mom did oblige. Um, and then I can remember very vividly going to like some houses, and it was like, yeah, you got a Reese's cup or something like that, or like some Starburst or Skittles, whatever, Twizzler. And then you go to some, and then you get like the off-brand, like the Mallow cups. That pissed me off so fucking bad. I just wanted to like in my little like 6 or 7 year old like voice look up and fuck you, lady. This is bullshit. Because it was bullshit. Even as a child, I know, like, you can do better than that, you bitch. Fuck that shit. You can take your Mallow cup and shove it up your ass.
Oh my god.
And then, I can remember do you remember going to some where they didn't have candy and they gave out other shit?
I don't really recall.
Well, I can remember some like where like they would have literally like a motherfucking like candy apples and shit that they make. Of course, you can't get by with doing that shit now. But
Hell no.
yeah, candy apples. I can remember. Well, hell, even when we lived out in Mineral Springs, remember there was somebody who made like cotton candy and gave out.
Yeah.
Of course, that's later on, but. And then I can remember like going to some where they didn't give out fucking candy and they gave out bullshit like little kitty like packs of like a fucking pencil and an eraser and like a notepad and shit. That pissed me off to no end. It's like, what's the fucking purpose of that? Like you just wanna, you might as well take and draw a big old dick on that pad of paper and like, fuck you. Because that's pretty much what you're doing, is you're fucking a child over.
Sounds like you were a little shit back then.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, yeah. I was a little shit. I remember, like, I didn't have siblings, so, like, I would go with, like, my cousins, and we would go trick-or-treating and stuff. And I love, like, looking back at the pictures from Halloween and stuff. And, like, did your parents dress up for Halloween?
Oh, hell no.
See, I was gonna say I don't see Richard doing that. I don't think I can't remember if my dad did. I think my mom did. Yes, I do know because there was one time where she went as Aunt Jemima, and we're just gonna leave it at that.
There's pictures out there. I've seen it.
But my favorite was of my aunt and uncle, my late great Aunt Gail. God love her, rest in peace, and my Uncle Dale. And they did like a gender swap, and it was like my Aunt Gail was dressed as like an old man, and my Uncle Dale, and Dale and his personality was dressed as a woman, and like he had on like a green dress, and like a shitty lipstick, and like I think red hair or something like that. And I can remember there's a picture of him. And, like, my Aunt Gail's kind of spreading her legs, and Uncle Dale's putting his little finger in there like it's a dick. Oh, man, that's my family. So, yeah. But no, man, I can remember. Those are about the only ones I really remember as far as, like, dressing up. But yeah, anyways, back to the candy. So, right now, I want you to give me your Mount Rushmore of Halloween candy. So, in other words, pick me 4 candies that are a necessity.
Well, how many did you say? 4?
4.
Okay, I was a weird little kid because I liked lemon heads.
That's interesting.
Lemon heads, I think Skittles, Starburst, and Snickers.
Okay, so Lemonheads, Starburst, Skittles, and Snickers.
Yeah.
So like 3 fruit candies and a chocolate.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. Me, and I'm almost surprised you didn't mention this, but how could you not mention the greatest candy bar of all time, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Well, see, back then, I didn't really, that didn't really matter to me back then. I mean, yeah, Reese's back then was okay to me, but I liked sour things better then.
So let me ask you this: if you was to say a Mount Rushmore now, would that change?
Yes.
And probably the first one I imagine be gone would be Lemon Heads.
Yes.
Okay. So definitely Reese's Cup for me. I'm going to go. I got to have like a fruity one too. Mine's going to be kind of odd. I love Nerds. Nerds was kind of my go-to.
That's respectable.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Nerds. I'm going to say I'm going to go with Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go Okay, it's kind of a toss-up. It's a tie, but I'm going to lean towards this because it's a fruity. I'm going to go with Starburst, but I came very close to saying Snickers.
Mm.
And let me give an honorable mention and a shout out to Twix as well. Twix was like, I don't know about you, but I always felt like Twix was like not given out nearly enough or nearly appreciated. Like when I went to a house and they had like Twix, I was just like, oh my God, you're rich as fuck. It's like, I bet you have like fucking a swimming pool in the backyard and it's like full of like gold coins, like DuckTales or some shit. Yeah, Twix candy bars. Okay, now reverse that. Mount Rushmore of the worst candies of all time. And I think we know what number fucking 1 and 2 is, and I think we can say it both at the same time. So 3, 2, 1. Candy corn and fucking circus peanuts. God, fuck those things.
Fuck those two things.
Abominations. Like, who in the fuck likes candy corn? I mean,
assholes.
Yeah, assholes, and Nazis. That's right.
And I'll put another one in there. Those fucking like taffies that came in like the orange and the brown or black wrappers.
Oh,
remember
yes.
those? Fuck those too.
Yeah. I agree.
I think they were like Brock's or something.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, disgusting.
Okay, I'm not gonna put them in this category, but let me ask you this: how do you feel about sweet tarts?
I can do a sweet tart.
I'm all right with them. I ain't mad at it. My most fondest memories of sweet tarts is like going up like during church, and like they'd have the little kids come up, and like they got like their present for coming up as the minister like tells them a little kid story or whatever was you got to pick out the candy jar, and they always had sweet tarts. Or sweet tarts was my go-to. Okay, so we've established circus peanuts, we've established candy corn, and the shitty taffy. We need one more.
Ooh, I got one.
Okay.
Those little like wax bottles that had like a drop or two of like juice in them. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I remember
twist
those.
the top off of them, and you get like the little juice that's inside.
Honestly, I don't. Did you get those handed to you a lot at houses? Because I don't think I got them.
I remember getting some. Yes, those were fucking a joke.
The one that came to mind for me, I know you would agree, black licorice.
I didn't really get a whole lot of that. No.
Yeah.
But I agree, it's a shitty candy.
Yeah. Okay. What was your preferred sucker?
Oh.
I'm going to say, for me, there were several out there, and I think the majority was the Tootsie Roll Pops, but I love me a good fucking Blow Pop.
Blow Pops were number one for me. I don't like Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, I agree. And Tootsie Rolls almost could be on that Mount Rushmore, because Tootsie Rolls was given out a lot.
They were cheap.
Yeah, it was like, it defeated the purpose. I think, let's just go ahead and say, let's include that one you were talking about. Let's say it's a tie between that and black licorice.
Okay.
That would probably be the worst of all time. So, speaking of candy, Savannah and I are going to play a fun little game right now, where I am going to read you off 5 of these ingredients, and you have to guess what candy bar it is. Okay? Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
This candy bar has milk chocolate, corn syrup, skim milk, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, and peanuts.
Payday?
No? Also has egg whites, chocolate,
Snickers?
Snickers satisfies. You are correct, my lady. It is Snickers. Okay. You want to read that one off?
Okay. Sugar, corn syrup, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, less than 2% of the following: citric acid, tapioca dextrin, natural and artificial flavors,
What the fuck?
modified cornstarch.
That's gonna make me sad. Is this gonna be some delicious candy bar I love, and it's like, what the fuck?
Maybe this is a hint. Yellow 5, blue 1,
What?
red
What the
40.
What the fuck? Are you like a spy reading off like SOS codes? What the fuck? Okay.
Here's a hint.
Mm-hmm.
Taste the rainbow.
That's Skittles?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, like I kind of like Skittles, but now I'm like, fuck Skittles. I don't know. Does that change Skittles for you? No.
When you think about it, like all candy has pretty much the same shit.
That's
It's just different
true.
percentages and different additives.
That's true.
It's all junk.
When you're right, you're right. And by golly, you're right. This candy has milk chocolate, corn syrup, sugar, which I think that's in every fucking candy bar, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, and less than 2% of milk fat, cocoa powder, processed with alkali. I probably mispronounced that. I do apologize. Lactose, malted barley, wheat flour, salt, egg white, and artificial flavor. What is it?
The Milky Way?
Damn, you're pretty smart. You're correct. That's a Milky Way. How'd you know that?
I just guessed. I don't
Was it-
know.
I would have never guessed that in a million years. So, okay. All right. My turn.
Okay, sugar, glucose, which is the same thing, peanuts, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, cocoa powder, modified milk ingredients, molasses, cornflakes.
Oh, I know this because we just saw this the other day. It's a Butterfinger.
You are correct, sir.
Yes. So Savannah and I literally, like, you remember that? Less than a week ago, we were just watching on YouTube, and
Mark Summers, where you at?
yeah, what was the name of that show? Like,
Unwrapped.
And yeah, they were talking about Butterfingers, and we did not know that fucking cornflakes is in Butterfingers.
That's the crunchy part.
Yeah. And now you know. And that's why it gets stuck in your fucking teeth.
Oh, yes.
But it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Okay. This candy has milk chocolate, sugar modified milk ingredients, cocoa butter, unsweetened chocolate, lactose soy something or other. That's what it says, I swear. Polyglycer, whatever the fuck. Polyursonolate, artificial flavor, wheat flour, sugar, hydrogenated soybean oil, or modified palm oil. You get to pick. Unsweetened chocolate sodium bicarbonate, soy lecithin, yeast, and artificial flavor.
I have no fucking idea.
I never would have guessed this.
Kit Kat?
How the fuck did you know that? It was a Kit Kat. I would if it would have said something waver in it. Like, wow, yeah, it's a fucking Kit Kat. Nummy. All right.
Okay. Milk chocolate. Let's see here. Sugar, chocolate, skim milk, cocoa butter, lactose, milk fat, soy lectin, salt, artificial flavors, sugar, cornstarch, less than 1% of corn syrup, gum acacia, coloring, which includes red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40, blue 2, yellow 5.
So it's something like Skittles. Is it Starburst?
No.
M&M's?
You are correct.
Oh, you did say chocolate, didn't you? Yeah, that
Yes.
would have been fucking weird. Chocolate Starburst. Which that will happen someday because they're making all sorts of stupid ass shit. M&M's. Because they melt in your mouth. Okay. This candy has milk chocolate, sugar chocolate, cocoa butter, skim milk, lactose, milk fat, sugar, corn syrup, hydrogenated palm kernel oil and or palm oil, less than 2% of cocoa powder, processed with alkali, salt, egg whites, artificial and natural flavors.
Three Musketeers?
Man, you're like the candy queen. Yes! It's the Three Musketeers. I think I would have got that because the egg whites.
Yeah,
I think that's what gives
me.
it away. Yeah. But
Nougat.
Three Musketeers because it's big on chocolate.
Not on fat.
That's right. I like me a good Three Musketeers every now and then.
They're underrated.
I agree. Now, don't get the idea, though, because it's less than fat that you can eat a whole fucking bag of minis.
Oh, hell no. Don't do it.
I've seen it, and I've done it. I'm not gonna lie. And it ended badly.
Yeah, diarrhea.
Cha-cha-cha. All right. There you go.
All right. Corn syrup, sugar, apple juice from concentrate, gelatin, food starch modified, citric acid, less than 1.5% of pectin, natural and artificial flavors.
Sounds terrifying.
Coloring, which is red 40 and yellow 5, and is gluten free.
So it's something that's red and yellow.
Uh-huh.
Why the fuck can I not think of this? It's not Twizzler.
No.
I don't think it's Starburst.
It is.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. I'll be damned. Starburst. Okay. This has milk chocolate, sugar enriched flour, reduced iron, thiamine, mononitrate. Okay, if I can't pronounce shit like it goes into candy bar, I probably shouldn't be eating it.
Ding 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 ding.
Ribbed for her pleasure, O'Flavian. Folic acid, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, corn syrup, skim milk, dextrose, less than 2% lactose, salt, cocoa powder, baking soda, artificial flavor.
Twix?
What the fuck? Like, how are you getting these? Yes, it's a Twix. Like, how did you know that was a Twix?
Because that's pretty much the, I don't know, the next one.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right. We're going to do a couple more of these.
Dextrose, sugar, malic acid, less than 2% of, corn syrup, carnauba wax, and artificial flavors and colors.
So it's something that's multicolored.
Yes.
Damn. Uncle Bill's scrotal Skittles. I don't know.
No, you boob. Nerds.
Oh, motherfucker. And I talked about how that was on my Mount Rushmore. Well, see, that's the thing, is I in the back of my mind, I don't want to know what the fuck's in this shit, because I enjoy it as is. Okay. Going to do two more here. Milk chocolate, sugar, milk chocolate, cocoa butter, lactose, milk fat, soy, lecithin, vanillin, and artificial flavor. I will suck your tits if you know this.
Reese's?
No, because there's no peanut butter in it.
Whatchamacallit?
Nope. Pretty standard. Run of the mill. Basic.
Hershey's.
That is correct. The Hershey's Kiss. All right, last one.
Let's see here. Corn syrup, milk chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter, chocolate milk, lactose, milk fat, non-fat milk, soy lecithin, PGPR, whatever that is, emulsifier, coconut, sugar, almonds, contains 2% or less of partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, whey, cocoa, salt, natural and artificial flavor, chocolate, soy lecithin, hydrolyzed milk protein, sodium metabisulfate to maintain freshness, sulfur dioxide to maintain freshness, and caramel color.
What the fuck? This sounds like something from the bowels of hell. Like, this sounds like something Satan himself concocted. I'm gonna say... Can I get a hint? Do I hate this or do I like this?
Oh, you hate.
Okay, so I'm thinking it is. It's a motherfucking Almond Joy, isn't it?
And Mounds.
Fuck Almond Joy and Mounds. And if you had an argument against it, I just fucking won it. Mic drop. Boom, bitches. Get out the way. Fuck Mounds and fuck Almond Joys.
He hates coconut milk.
Yeah, coconut. Okay, so I can do like coconut, like
coconut milk.
But it's a texture. Yeah, I hate that. That's like nails on chalkboard for me. So
what he's saying is, folks, pina coladas are good. Almond Joys are bad.
Yeah, they're god awful. They're abominations. They should not be out on the market. And I would gladly write my congressman and petition to have them removed. Okay, so what would you say? So what? In actuality, let's talk about this. What's the most favorite Halloween candy in America? Top 3.
Reese's.
You are correct.
Snickers.
No.
Oh shit, no Snickers.
I would have thought that too.
Skittles.
Skittles is in there, and there's one more.
Starburst.
Nope. Chocolate.
Hershey.
Nope.
Kit Kat.
Nope.
Twix.
A little S&M's, M&M's.
Oh,
so some M&M's, yeah. So it's M&M's, Reese Cups, and Skittles. Those are the favorite Halloween candies in the U.S. You know what's something that's like ridiculous too? It blows my mind, is like how much everybody loves Halloween and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm right there too. But you realize, according to the National Retail Federation, they estimate that Americans will spend $2.6 billion on candy alone this Halloween. And that 70% of people will spend their night handing out sugary sweets to trick-or-treaters. Now, I want to know the question then. Who's the other 30%? What the fuck are they doing? And I think they're like me. They're like, fuck the kids, and I'm just going to snack on the candy.
Uh-huh.
I love giving out candy to kids. And that sounded fucking terrible. But no, I do. I like seeing, the kids. Like, it's cool to see them in their little costumes and stuff like that. But when we lived out in Mineral Springs, we used to get a lot of kids, which it was like a pretty good sized housing addition. Now, where we're at now, it is a housing addition, but it's just not.
I mean, like, our neighbors to the right are old people. The neighbors across the street are like middle aged. We just had some neighbors move in a couple years ago that have a little girl, but really, we don't get a whole lot of kids that come.
Yeah, we really don't, which is kind of a bummer. And like, we won't even bother getting candy this year.
Nah, it's a waste.
Yeah, the past couple of years, it's been a waste. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe someday again, trick-or-treaters will come our way. But time will tell. What about like other things associated? Like, did you do like go through the pumpkin patches and shit? Like, go on hay rides and stuff like that?
I remember like doing the hayride thing when I was like, in preteen age.
Yeah, and that was a fun, interesting age as you transition out. So, like, at what point do you remember where you just said, "All right, fuck this. I'm way too old for this. I'm going to stop."
Probably 7th or 8th grade. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's about right for me. I think mine was a little bit sooner than that. But I can recall, I do recall going out as a teenager, and I can remember going as like a, but we were just doing it just to fuck around. But I remember like dressed up as like a hobo, so to speak, and I had like even had like the stick with the fucking handkerchief and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can remember going to like a teacher's house or something, and they were just so disgusted. And they're like, "Oh, hold on a second." She was giving out candy and shit, and she goes in and gives me like a fucking apple. It's like, you fucking bitch. Like, how dare you? It's like,
fucking bitch.
Like, you were suggesting I'm a fat child and I need to eat some. You're probably right.
Need to eat healthy.
You're probably right, but in hindsight, fuck you. But yeah, I can remember doing that. Like, did you ever do any pranks as a kid around Halloween? You were a good girl, so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It was a thing. I can remember we thought about doing it and we just didn't do shit. Like, I can remember like we were literally, I can remember grabbing some rolls of toilet paper and like literally having them and then going over to like a couple houses over and like it's like, here, you throw it. No, you throw it. And it's like none of us had the balls to do it pretty much. So I remember that. And as a teenager, yeah, I didn't really. Yeah, just I don't know. What now? Let me ask you this. We were talking about costumes earlier. What do you think is the most popular Halloween costume for 2021? It's going to surprise you.
I don't know, like superhero, like
No.
Marvel bullshit.
Something that everybody is talking about right now and is extremely popular.
COVID?
No, I think that was last year. I'm going to give you one more hint, and I think you'll get this by this. It's on Netflix.
Oh, the Squid Game.
Squid Game! So that is the most popular costume this year. Which, seriously, we're going to be the first to admit we got to get with the times.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I kind of know what it is, but I haven't watched it. But obviously, we're going to have to watch it at some point. But in our house, what do we do every Halloween, Savannah? We dress up our dogs in costumes. That's what we do now as adults, yes. We're so excited because we just got our youngest little Reggie Roo.
Reggie Roo.
We got him his very first Halloween costume today. And we're not going to tell you because it will be in some video later on off Cole TV, but it is adorable. And all of our boys are going to be, it's a theme, okay?
Yes.
So, but I'm excited about that. But yeah, we're the type, yes, we go and we get our dogs' costumes. As an adult, did you ever dress up? Like other than, I don't even think we did that for Halloween. That was Comic-Con, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But did you ever go to like a Halloween party, like as an adult or anything like that?
Hell no.
Really? Okay. I can remember doing it a couple times. I remember one, I was dressed as Matt Foley from, yes, Matt Foley, which wasn't hard for me to pull off. I had like an old suit and clip-on tie and stuff. And I remember my good old friend, who I haven't talked about him in a while. You remember Chris?
Oh, yes.
I went with him to one of his friends' Halloween's parties, and it was up in Indy. And it was cool as hell, but nobody knew who I was. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to leave it this. I was literally the only white person there. But it was fun as hell, man. Like, it was a good old time. I talked to some people and shit. And I can remember, like, being, like, drunk afterwards and, like, convincing Chris to go to fucking La Bamba in Greenwood afterwards. And there's a funny picture because he's dressed as a bumblebee. And I think this, I don't know if it's on Facebook, but I know it was,
I remember seeing the picture.
Yes, of the drunken bumblebee.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, it was good times.
Yeah.
But I can remember doing that, and then I do remember, I think we did, I know what it was. I would encourage everybody to dress up at work. So one year I went as one of the Blues Brothers, and then one year I went as Walter from Big Lebowski, because that's our favorite movie. And I think you kind of dressed up too. You had like that shirt that was like the taco or something like that.
Oh yeah, I was a hot sauce packet.
That's right. Yeah. So Like dressing up at work, that's fun, and I mean that's kind of what we do as an adult now. But one other thing I was going to say we do in this house every October is we watch nothing but horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't think you really cared for them at first, but now you're kind of into them somewhat, right? Would you say?
I mean, like I have the ones that I consider, I'm more comfortable with, you know, the ones by Rob Zombie that have, Captain Spaulding. Yeah, I like those. And then I don't know, like some of the ones that you play just kind of have grown on me.
Yeah, goals. Now, and something else we always watch, and I mentioned this on our last podcast, was Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, I love Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt's the shit. It's such a good show, man, and I can't say enough of what we didn't already discuss in our last episode. But Tales from the Crypt, did you watch horror movies as a kid? Was there anything you remember watching?
I mean, like, not really. Like, my brother, he liked horror movies a lot.
Do you remember what his favorite... Oh, you were getting ready to say it. I'm sorry.
Maximum Overdrive was repeated I don't know how many times growing up in our house.
Great fucking movie.
Can
I throw in another additional bullshit fact of the day?
Sure.
So, Maximum Overdrive. Look this up on YouTube. The trailer for it was... Because that was the only Stephen King movie that he actually directed. And he is in the trailer, talking in the trailer. And if you watch it, he is literally on cocaine. And that is not a joke. He is on fucking cocaine. You seriously watch that shit and you'll see Stephen King on cocaine.
Really, I don't enjoy watching the horror movies back then. I remember the kid ones, Ernest Scared Stupid,
classic, which by the way just celebrated its 30th anniversary.
Holy fuck. Yeah. 30 years.
30 years since that movie come out. And that's definitely one. Hell, we just watched it about a week ago. And then, Addams Family movies.
Yeah, the Addams Family movies and the cartoons, like Charlie Brown.
Yes.
And Garfield.
Garfield was probably my all-time favorite Halloween special. As much as I love it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Definitely Garfield is probably my favorite Halloween special.
And one that I like that he doesn't really remember so much is the Disney Halloween Treat with all the old school cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, and it had it had the was it Halloween music or was it the more modern music of that time?
I think it was a little mixture of both. It took snippets from stuff that was, when Walt was still alive, from Fantasia, the devil scene.
God, that was scary as fuck as a kid.
And then you had the cartoons like Donald Duck and, Mickey Mouse and Goofy,
Yeah. Did you as a kid remember any the spooky records and stuff where they play the sounds and shit like that?
Not really.
See, I had some as a kid, man, and I can remember that being played in the background for Halloween parties and stuff, especially as a kid, at school, we were talking about. I remember that was an aspect of it. One thing I love too with Halloween too. You talk about horror movies. We're talking about the TV specials. What about when TV shows would have their special Halloween episodes?
Oh yeah.
There's a couple that stick out to me. Do you remember the one from Family Matters where there was the evil Urkel doll?
Yes.
What the fuck was the Urkel doll's name? Do you remember? Was it Quirkle or it was some play off of his name or something? And it was from another dimension, and they did multiple episodes too, where the bad fucking Urkel doll would come back and try to kill him or take over or some shit.
Yeah.
Also, you got to give a big shout out to something that is big that still goes to this day, and that's the Treehouse of Horrors from The Simpsons.
Oh, The Simpsons, yeah.
Oh man, so many good classic episodes from that. And I love that that's something they still
They still do. Even though Disney owns them.
Yeah. Another one I really like, this is kind of a little bit more modern, but I like The Office Halloween episode, which I don't think you really watched The Office. Like, you've seen parts of it.
I mean, like, I didn't really, like, watch actual episodes until, we were together. Like, we'll just put it that way.
Well, that's fair. I just remember, like, the Michael Scott costume was creepy as fuck, because it was literally him, and he had, like, a dummy head, like, confetti that was, like, on his... And then I remember Dwight came in dressed up as, like, some fucking, like, thing from Battlestar Galactica or something. I know you remember this one, the How I Met Your Mother one, the
slutty pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And I can remember, like, Boy Meets World. You remember where it was like it was like a slasher like movie thing, and it was just like it actually just played out like in Sean's head, and like it was just like a nightmare or some shit like that, I think. Yeah. Yeah, those are just some that I remember, and then of course I can remember like the shows that was like pertaining to, like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch had shit, and like I can't remember like some other specials that was outside of like the norm of like regular episodic television, like you said, the Disney one, and they would do like I can remember too, and we'd be reminiscent if we didn't talk about this. Like, I don't think you remember him, but for me as a kid, I can remember like the late night horror, like old school movies and shit, and like hosted by, here in Indiana, we have Sammy Terry, which my dad does a spot on Sammy Terry voice. But that's probably, you don't even probably remember that, do you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like Elvira and shit like that, and then Joe Bob, who used to host Monster Vision on TNT. He's actually got a show on Shudder now, does it? And then I can also remember too, like where they were just like out of the blue, like, or I shouldn't say remember, like you see this happen a lot nowadays, where the streaming shows just have a special pop up. Like, did Big Mouth do one?
Yeah.
Or no? No, it's BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah, BoJack.
Yeah, because Big Mouth was Valentine's Day. They did
Yeah,
a Valentine's Day one, but I'm sure they're gonna do like one like that
eventually.
Oh yeah. But I mean, Halloween, man, it's such a good time. And then we got to talk about real quickly here. We got to talk about haunted houses, and of course, if you've been watching or listening to us, on our first episode was about Savannah and I and our relationship, and you may remember our first date, we were actually supposed to go to a haunted house. Now, we ended up actually, I don't know, months or a year later or something, going to a haunted house. And that was the last one we ever did. And it wasn't so much like scary. That's why Savannah didn't like it. It's just she didn't like people fucking grabbing her and shit.
I don't like people getting in my face and yelling.
Agreed. And that's completely understandable.
Like, motherfucker, if you get in my face and start yelling and screaming, you best step back, because you're fixing to get a slap to the face or a punch in the mouth.
Or a kick to the dick. Don't fuck with her, trust me. Man, dude, side note here, but I remember in fucking Nashville, I think it was, we were with friends, and they have like those punching, like, ball things or whatever. Punching bag. And like nobody even came remotely close to reaching the maximum amount. It's like her velocity. Yeah.
I have a mean right hook, so don't fuck with me.
Yeah, don't fuck with her. She will fuck you up. So anyways, haunted houses, I can remember they're in my late teens, my early 20s, like loved going to them all the time and stuff. I can remember back in the day when it was Deer Creek, and it's still Deer Creek to me, damn it.
Always Deer Creek.
They used to have like Hardy's Fright Fest or some shit like that, and it was like literally they had like 2 or 3 or 4 like haunted attractions you pay a ticket to go into, and they would have like other shit there, like tarot card readings and shit like that. That was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. And I remember around our area, you got Necropolis. Is pretty well. I don't know if Necropolis is still around or not.
I think it's now the Indie Scream Park.
Oh, okay. And then the Hannah Haunted Acres, and
Fear Fair and
and
Seymour.
Seymour, which is crazy because I remember when that first started, not being that impressed, but I guess that's now like one of the more popular haunted houses in the Midwest. Who would have thunk it?
Wow, go Seymour.
Here's a really cool story. And I don't think they do this anymore, but my grandparents' land, where they had their farmhouse and stuff, of course, they sold it many, many, many years ago. About, I want to say 5, 6, 7 years ago or something, they actually like ended up putting a haunted house in there, as a haunted house attraction, and like a corn maze, I think. I never went, but I thought that was pretty cool. My most favorite haunted house, though, I went to, I thought was really cool, was up in Greenwood, and it's in Garfield Park, I want to say. So I guess not technically Greenwood, Indy, whatever. But I can remember it was like all horror themed, like horror movie characters and shit. And I can remember like we were the last ones in, and they put on like a hell of a show for us, and had like Jason chasing us around, along with fucking Leatherface, and I think Freddy was there too. And I just remember like getting done with it, and it was cool too because you walk around and it was like different themes. Like you literally went through like Camp Crystal Lake. It was pretty dope. And then like Leatherface's like meat shop or whatever. And I can remember like getting to the end of it and leaving, and then fucking like they were chasing us, and they chased us all the way to the car, and they were fucking with the girls that were with us, like banging on the fucking windows and shit. And like literally. It was like a scene out of like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where we're driving away and fucking Leatherface is like taking the chainsaw up in the air and has the same motions and everything. So that was the coolest one I think I ever went to. But I haven't been to one since the one we did. I don't know. Would I do it again? Man, maybe, but it's not my cup of tea. But we're gonna wrap it up here, and I want to wrap it up with this. What was your most favorite Halloween memory?
Probably just all the times I got to go trick-or-treating up and down the neighborhood at my grandparents' house, because both of my grandparents have now passed on. My grandma passed away last year in November.
God rest her soul.
Papa's been dead for 20 years now. Dang.
Wow, that's crazy. It's saying that out loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go with the same guidelines as Savannah, just with the being with your family, and getting to show how excited and like it was a big moment for you to show off your costume to your grandparents and stuff, and how they would be, oh, that's so cool, or so supportive or whatever. And then ultimately at the end of the day, getting down to brass tacks, give me the candy. And none of that bullshit you keep in the little candy jar over there, Grandma, that when I come and get, like, none of that bullshit with the strawberries. No.
No buttermints.
No buttermints. I'm talking no Withers Originals. I'm talking full-size candy bar. Let me ask you, did you get that as a kid, like full-size candy bars from your folks, or was it your grandparents, or was it just, like, whatever?
It was just whatever.
Okay. And I can remember too, like getting like I can remember getting toys from them too, like full on like action figures and shit. Like I think I had a Ninja Turtle one year or something. So pretty dope, pretty fun times, and we've got even more fun times ahead. Keep tuned in to Cole TV for the week of right before Halloween. What is that? October the 25th, I think, or the 24th. But start from that whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are going to have some sort of special on, and it's all going to be related to Halloween. And we've got a really fun Colecast episode planned for next week. But we just wanted to go down a trip down memory lane and talk about some of our favorite Halloween memories. And feel free to reminisce and think about your favorite and spooky Halloween memories. So, that being said, we're going to sign off here. I'm Jeremy, a.k.a. XLJ the OG.
And I'm Sadsavigonbleh, a.k.a. Savannah.
And we want to wish you a happy Halloween. See you next time on Colecast, the podcast for all of us.